jet cabin was dimly lit, all soft gold and muted silver, the kind of luxury that didn't need to shout to prove its worth. Emma didn't belong there, and she knew it. Every polished surface reflected not just opulence but her own exhaustion. Hair hastily tied back, dark circles under her eyes, baby bag barely holding together on one frayed strap. She clutched her 6-month-old son against her chest like a lifeline. She hadn't meant to fall asleep. She'd boarded the flight barely conscious, nerves stretched too thin from lack of sleep, juggling diaper changes and airport security. When the stern-faced flight attendant told her she'd been assigned a seat in the executive cabin, Emma almost laughed. She thought it was a mistake. But she was too tired to argue. She didn't even look properly at the man beside her before sinking into the leather seat, strapping herself in and whispering to her son, "Just a little longer, baby." "Mommy's trying." The baby whimpered. She rocked him gently, and then everything faded. Her body leaned sideways, cheek brushing something firm, warm, solid. A shoulder. She didn't register it, but he did. Damian Blackwood went rigid. He was a man unused to being touched, especially without permission. His usual world was one of power and precision, boardrooms, glass towers, and men who flinched when he walked past. Wolf-born instincts made him hyper-aware of everything, the hum of the engine, the faint click of the thermostat, and now, her, the sleeping woman beside him, and her child. At first, he considered waking her. The rational CEO side of him screamed for distance, but the other part, the one much harder to control, was silent. No, it listened. Her scent hit him first. Not perfume, not floral soaps, just warmth. Skin, milk, a trace of vanilla from her shampoo, and something he couldn't name, and something that stirred deep in his chest like an echo calling back. His wolf stirred, confused, alert, curious. What is this? His throat tightened. He forced his gaze forward, jaw clenching, every muscle stiff with restraint. Don't move, don't react, don't scare her. But then, the baby stirred. A soft, sleepy coo escaped from the bundle in her arms. Damian glanced down, wide and froze. 2 tiny eyes, barely open, stared back at him. Not crying. Not fussing, just watching him as if assessing. Damian swallowed. "Hi," he muttered awkwardly. The baby blinked. Emma shifted in her sleep, her cheek brushing his shoulder again, softer this time, instinctively seeking comfort. He remained utterly still. No one had rested on him like this in, hell, maybe ever. His pulse kicked. Heat crept up his neck. His wolf practically sat upright inside him, tense but calm. Why does this feel right? The baby suddenly let out a tiny squeak, the kind of warning sound that usually preceded a full meltdown. Panic shot through Damian like lightning. No, don't cry. Please don't cry. Not while your mother's asleep. I don't do well with too late. The baby's face scrunched, little lips parted. A storm was seconds away. Emma was still sleeping. Damian Blackwood, ruthless alpha CEO, feared by competitors, worshipped by headlines, stared at the miniature ticking time bomb in her arms and whispered the most desperate word he'd spoken in years. Shh. The baby kept winding up, breath hitching before the final wail. Damian looked around frantically, and for what? A pacifier? A toy? A manual on how not to terrify infants? There was nothing. So he did the only thing he could think of. He extended one cautious finger. The baby paused mid-squirm, noticing the strange new object in his line of sight. Damian cleared his throat. A handshake? There was a beat of silence, then, with great seriousness, the baby wrapped his entire tiny hand around Damian's finger. Damian's breath caught. Something shifted inside him. Warmth spread through his chest, unfamiliar and startling. His wolf, usually restless, went still, accepted, claimed guard. The instinct came so suddenly, so fiercely that he had to grip the armrest with his free hand to ground himself. Protect. He didn't understand why. He didn't need to. He just knew. Emma woke to the unfamiliar sound of peace. No crying. No turbulence. No airport noise, just silence and warmth. Her cheek was pressed against something solid. She blinked sleepily, then froze. Her head was on a man's shoulder. Oh, God. She jerked away instinctively, but strong fingers moved gently, barely grazing her elbow. Careful, a low, velvety voice murmured. You'll wake him. Her heart leapt. She turned. The man beside her was unfairly beautiful. Sharp jawline, dark hair styled with effortless precision, expensive suit tailored to perfection. But it wasn't his looks that made her throat go dry. It was his eyes, dark, intense, watching her with an expression she couldn't place, not annoyance, not discomfort, something like restraint, as if he was battling an urge she couldn't see. Emma flushed. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I must have. You were tired, he said simply. No judgment. Just fact, she swallowed, flustered. Still, I shouldn't have. It's fine. His voice softened just slightly. He didn't mind. Emma blinked. Who? She looked down. Her son was holding the stranger's finger and smiling. Her jaw dropped. Oh my, I'm so sorry. He usually doesn't. He's not supposed to. The stranger didn't pull his hand away. If anything, he curled his finger slightly, allowing the baby to cling tighter. He has a firm grip, he said quietly. Good reflexes, Emma blinked. Was this man complimenting her baby like he was a young warrior? She shifted awkwardly. He, likes holding on to things, for stability. The man's lips quirked. Not quite a smile, more like a muscle remembering how one worked. Damian Blackwood, he said at last. Emma froze. That name. She'd seen it on headlines, Forbes lists, business articles, tech empires. The man whose company bought half of Silicon Valley last year. The billionaire who never gave interviews. A ghost in the media, a legend in finance, untouchable, unreachable, unshakable. And her son was drooling on him. Her heart hit maximum panic mode. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Mr. Blackwood. I swear I didn't. It's fine, he repeated, tone firm but calm. He was alert earlier. Almost cried. I intervened. You intervened? She echoed. For peace, he added. He accepted negotiation terms. Emma stared at him. Are you saying my son made a business deal with you not to cry? His gaze flickered, amusement. We came to an understanding. She let out an incredulous laugh despite herself. Well, that's a first. Normally he screams like he's being audited. Something shifted in Damian's expression, like he'd just heard a language he wasn't used to. Humor. The baby squeezed Damian's finger again, cooing softly. Emma watched, amazed. Her son rarely warmed to strangers. He normally cried at unfamiliar faces, even kind ones. But with Damian Blackwood of all people, he looked content. Almost like he recognized something. That strange thought flickered through her, but she shook it off. Thank you, she said softly, for not waking me and for whatever your negotiation tactics were. Damian nodded, then hesitated, like he wanted to say more but wasn't used to asking questions. Finally, he said, You're traveling alone. With an infant, that's unusual. She stiffened slightly. I didn't realize I needed a license. His eyes sharpened, not offended but assessing. I didn't mean it as criticism, he said. Just observation. She hesitated, then sighed. I'm moving. Starting over, leaving a place where things got difficult. Damian studied her silently for a moment, then, to her surprise, spoke in a softer tone. Was there no one to help you? Emma shrugged. There was, but not the kind of help that helps. Damian understood more than he let on. She could see it in his eyes. Power recognized pain, not through empathy but through experience. He looked away, as if breaking his own rule of personal engagement. But then, turbulence. The cabin shook slightly. Emma instinctively held her son tighter, muscles tensing. Damian didn't move, but his pupils flashed darker for a millisecond. His hand flexed like claws wanting to grip. Emma didn't see it, but she felt it, a strange pulse in the air, a sudden warmth like his presence wrapped around them, shielding them. Her racing heartbeat slowed, not from willpower but instinct. She turned slowly to look at him. Damian was still. Too still. Like a predator frozen mid-hunt, his jaw clenched. His nostrils flared almost imperceptibly. What is he? Before she could speak, his gaze snapped to hers, intense, focused. Not threatening, just watching. Are you afraid? He asked quietly. Of flying? She whispered. A little, but more of falling. He held her gaze for a long beat. You won't fall, he said, and for some reason, it didn't sound like reassurance. It sounded like a promise. The flight smoothed out. Silence settled again. Emma glanced at him. Something tugged inside her. Curiosity mixed with an odd sense of safety. She took a breath. You don't seem like someone who likes babies. I don't, he replied instantly. She blinked. He continued after a pause. Or rather, I've never had reason to be near one. But you didn't seem uncomfortable. I was, he said flatly. She raised an eyebrow. You didn't show it. He looked away, muttering low. I rarely do. For the first time since waking, Emma smiled. There was something absurdly endearing about watching the world's most intimidating businessman be held hostage by a 6-month-old. Would you like me to liberate you? She offered teasingly, gesturing to her son still holding his finger. Damian glanced down. The baby stared back at him. Neither moved. Finally, Damian said, He'll let go when he's ready. Emma's heartbeat skipped. Not because of the words, but because of the way he said them, like he wasn't talking about just the baby, like he was talking about himself. The announcement buzzed overhead. We'll be landing shortly. Please fasten your seatbelts. Emma carefully shifted her son and secured him. Damian finally withdrew his hand, slowly, like breaking an invisible bond. The baby whimpered at the loss. Damian's fingers twitched. His jaw tightened and almost like restraint hurt. Emma pretended not to notice, but she saw everything. The way his shoulders squared, like armor sliding back into place. The way his expression cooled, the way something wild and warm retreated deep behind those dark eyes. The alpha tucking himself away. Thank you, she said softly, for being kind. Damian looked at her. Really looked. His gaze lowered briefly, to her tired eyes, her trembling hands, her son's sleepy face. Then back to hers. He opened his mouth. Then hesitated. Then he reached into his breast pocket, pulled out a sleek black business card and held it out. Call me, he said. Emma blinked. For business? No, she swallowed. Then for what? His voice dropped, gentle yet unyielding. If anything happens. If you need protection. Emma's breath caught. Why do you? He didn't answer. The plane touched down. His eyes stayed on hers as if waiting for something. She stared back. Torn between logic and instinct, she took the card. His shoulders loosened. Just barely. He stood. Walked past her. Paused. Without turning, he said quietly, almost too low to hear. You'll see me again, Emma. Her heart pounded. How do you know that? She whispered. He tilted his head slightly, the faintest hint of a smile in his voice. Because, he said, voice like velvet over steel, wolves don't leave their pack behind. Then he walked away, leaving her breathless, confused, and not nearly as alone as she had been when she boarded that plane.